Hey, it's Andy and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited that you are here and that you are able to go through this fertility journey with me. And I wanted this YouTube channel to be somewhere where you can feel safe, where you can feel encouraged and understood, because you are not alone when it comes to this fertility journey and trying to grow your family. My fertility community is awesome. Like, you're the best. You've helped me throughout so many things. I mean, when I first started my fertility journey and I started with IUI, I had no idea what I was getting into, and so many of you reached out to me and DM'd me on Instagram and emailed me and just encouraged me and helped me through the entire process. And the only thing that I can say that I can do back is to give back to you and share my story with you, so hopefully you can feel encouraged and not filled with fear and anxiety like I did when I first started out and I had no one to talk to about this. So be sure to check the little subscribe button below so you can keep up with all my new videos and all the new happenings, and let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to talk about ovulating. I'm not going to talk about why and how ovulation works. What I'm talking about is, so I had my third IVF cycle and I ovulated early. So I ovulated early, lost all of my follicles before egg retrieval. I took about 3 shots in the morning and 3 shots at night. I wrote all this down because it's so much information that happened. So I took 3 shots in the morning and at night, 6 total shots with this IVF cycle. And it definitely took a toll on me physically and mentally. It was probably the hardest IVF cycle for me that I have done thus far. The first 2 were, I believe, 4 shots total, and this one was 3 in the morning and 3 at night. And so it really took a toll on me emotionally, physically. I think I cried every single time we were done with the shots in the morning and the night. I was just mentally drained, and I even felt nauseous sometimes. And I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. The other 2 prior to that were not as, sorry, my dog's trying to get up on the couch. Okay, but you need to go sit down. I love you. Okay, sorry, my dog was trying to make an appearance, which I'm sure she will eventually. But anyway, back to the ovulating early. This third IVF cycle, I actually produced the most follicles. So in my first IVF and the second one, first one I only produced 1, and the second one was 3. And those were, they all came back that they weren't mature. So this 4th one, I had 4 egg follicles, which the eggs are inside, and they looked promising. They were ranging between 15, I believe 15, I had a 15, a 17, an 18, and a 21 in the size. So they're pretty mature and ready to go. So at this point I was stimming, which meant I was taking shots for 11 days. And on my last 2 IVF cycles, I went up to 9 days, and then I had my egg retrieval surgery. Well, this one was 11 days, and I was starting to get uneasy and nervous because, as you know, and I know, we know our bodies best. The doctors can say this and that, but I'm sorry, I know my body. And I knew that 11 days out, looking at my calendar and everything, and when I ovulate, I knew that I was past the point of ovulation already. And I know that medications and everything's timed and scheduled and this and that, but I still felt like I was taking the shots a little too long, and I felt like the follicles that I had already seemed somewhat promising. I wanted them to get them out of me, to be honest. But I kept telling the nurse, I talked to 2 different nurses, and I told them, hey, I'm getting nervous. I feel like it's past the point of ovulation. I feel like I'm gonna ovulate early. Like, I'm really, really nervous. And I told 2 or 3 nurses this, and they all were like, don't worry about it, Andy. Like, that's why you're taking Septratide. It's a shot that prevents you from ovulating. And so I said, I know, but I don't know. I'm not trusting it. So anyway, fast forward a few days later, I go in for my monitoring, and at this point I don't know if it's my last one or what, but it seemed like it should have been before egg retrieval. Well, we woke up that morning. I had a slight pain on my right side of my ovary, and I thought we were getting ready to get in the car to drive to Tampa to get monitored. I thought that probably it was just me being sensitive because the 4 follicles are larger and it's just sensitive down there, because at this point, I mean, you should be going into egg retrieval. So I was like, well, maybe it's just sensitivity, and I'm gonna try to not pay attention to it. But to be honest with you, I had a feeling. So as we're driving to Tampa, the pain kept getting worse and worse, and I just knew it. So anyways, I went into the transvaginal exam, got that done. Nurse said nothing to me, which was pretty common. They usually don't say anything until the doctor reviews, and then, you know, the nurse calls. And so on our way back, we stopped at a Cracker Barrel to grab breakfast because we were hungry. And in the midst of grabbing breakfast, the nurse called me and she said, "Andy, I'm so sorry, you ovulated early." I was so upset, disappointed, shocked, and then not shocked at the same time. I got up and ran to our car in the parking lot and cried my eyes out. I was so disappointed after taking all of those shots, all of this cycle just being the hardest one, and having the most eggs or follicles available to, whether or not they were going to produce a child for us or not, I didn't know that, but I did know that I did my best in this cycle. I put all of my strengths into this one, and for it to all go basically down the drain, I felt so defeated. And I felt the Holy Spirit. So as I was sitting in that car, crying my eyes out, waiting for Lucas to arrive, I was crying to Jesus, asking, why did you let this happen? Why go through all of this, knowing, having a hint that I knew that I was going to ovulate? Why did I go through all of this for nothing? You know, I had a chance to have my own child. This was probably my only chance, the closest chance that I was going to have. Why did you let this happen? Why? And as I was crying and praying and talking to God, I literally, most definitely, 100% felt the Holy Spirit tell me, let go, Andy, and let me. And I'm not saying this like it's some woo-woo thing and it's some magical moment, and but it was magical and it was true. I legit felt that in the pain that I was feeling when I was crying, feeling all the pain I did, I heard, let me and let go. And in the midst of that, through that anger and the pain and the sadness, there was some sort of sigh of relief that I could breathe again, that I could stop fertility treatments altogether. I had done 3 IUIs at this point, 3 IVFs now. I had a lap surgery for my endometriosis. I had a cyst rupture. I mean, it was just controlling my life. Back after back after back, treatments after treatments, medications after medications. How much more can you take? And that's something you can ask yourself. How much more can you take? And there's no right or wrong answer. There's no crystal ball that's going to say, yeah, keep doing more treatments, or yeah, stop. You have to feel comfortable with that, and you have to make that choice. I made that choice after hearing from God, straight up hearing from God, to finally let go and just let Him take care of it. Because I was so tired and so exhausted mentally, physically, and emotionally to continue doing this. I mean, you have to think, you're getting shot up with all these medications, these hormones, and it's rewiring your brain. And I gained 25 pounds, and I know that that's not the most important thing, but I didn't feel like myself. I felt sluggish. I was tired. I was always emotional. It was controlling my brain, fertility treatments. It was controlling my lifestyle, my relationship, my marriage. And I needed to reel myself back in and find my happiness again, find my comfort again, and find my faith again, and trust. And I think that's what God was trying to use this situation that felt so bad and so wrong in so many ways, but to use it, to put it and make it clear to me to let it go. And so I took it, and I believed that. And so as we drove back home that day, We cried, but we spoke about what I felt, and we came to the agreement that we were going to be done with fertility treatments. That for us, we were going to get back to living life again, enjoying life again, and allowing myself to heal and to think clearly again. I just wanted you to know that if you're feeling like fertility treatments are failing you and it's just not working out and you're just sick of it, don't feel bad, don't feel guilty for letting that go. You have been so brave to even try any fertility treatment, whether it was an IUI, an IVF, a medicated cycle, whatever that may be, or whatever it looks like to you. You are not failing yourself. You're not failing having a child. You're not giving up on yourself or giving up on a potential baby by not doing any more fertility treatments. I find it as you are becoming even more braver than you ever were. You're trusting God and having faith that miracles happen and things happen that you don't understand and you can't make sense of it, but one day you will. And what that is, I don't know, but the stress-free feeling of knowing that you are not in control is a breath of fresh air. And I want you to know that, and I want you to know that it's okay to let it go if you feel like you are ready to let it go. It's not your only way and your only chance to have a baby. It's not. So I wanted to skip after that a little bit, move forward from that a little bit. 3 months after I ovulated early, it was a morning. I was getting ready to go work out at Orange Theory, getting my workouts back in gear. I was feeling good. And I went into the bathroom because usually you check to see if I'm pregnant. It's like a go-to thing. Honestly, I do it. I could do it in my sleep. I've done it so much. I am that girl. I'm always checking. It's just how I am. So anyways, I go in the bathroom, check, pee on the stick. Lo and behold, there was a positive pregnancy test. 3 months after I ovulated early, on my own, naturally. I've never had a positive pregnancy test ever in my entire life. I instantly started shaking. I was losing it. I still can't believe that happened. Fast forward a few weeks later, about 8.5 weeks later, I miscarried, unfortunately. And that was devastating and so hard for me and Lucas to deal with. And we're still healing from that. I'm still healing from that. But I know that God was telling me something when I told you he spoke to me that day. After this happened, I was like, okay, I got it. I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to tell me something. And so I want to stay faithful and hopeful, and I'm not going to cry. I'm going to hold it back. That this is going to happen for you. I'm not sure how that's going to look like. I don't know the answer to everything, but I want you to feel encouraged. Not only am I saying this to myself every day, I'm saying it to you. And I want to end on that note that I just want you to stay hopeful and have faith and trust and live your life and don't feel guilt and don't feel like you're giving up. You're not. So that's my story. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my journey of this early ovulation cycle that I had. I really can't wait to talk to you more about fertility, everything. I'm going to talk about all kinds of different topics here. So if you have any questions, if you could leave a comment, subscribe below, I would greatly appreciate it. And also check me out on Instagram at AndyMans. And I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.